No, my man's having a heart attack. No, you let go of that arm right now. You're not having a heart attack. We're not doing this again. Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with Daredevil. We're on the Born Again series, season 2, episode 1, which is called The Northern Star. So last season was fantastic in my opinion. I think it was really good into, once again, telling more of the story of Matt and the Kingpin. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is a bit of a haze, but I do remember that I did like the kind of development we were seeing with Matt and kind of questioning his identity and whether or not he should be Daredevil anymore, and kind of the way that they were handling, as it's always with Matt, how he handles this devil inside that he's constantly battling versus who he thinks Matt Murdock should be. So ready to jump into this season and see what it brings, because I know a lot of people were very much looking forward to it, myself included. So let's do that. But just before I do, a reminder to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you'll be in the know of when I drop these episodes. And also, if you're interested in watching an uncut version of this reaction, you can do so on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. That was loud, but I guess not an unusual sound for a ship of this size. What are they carrying on the ship? Whoa, that requires full body armor. I hope nothing in here is flammable or explosive. Right out. Ugh. Hey, Matt, calm down. So ragey. We just started. What made you think that was a good idea, my brother? It's a lot of weapons. So they're gonna blow it, right? Or capsize it. Capsizing is smarter because then you can at least retrieve the goods at some point. Capsize, smart. Woo, do them pull-ups, Maddie. Let's hope that upper body strength's on point. I mean, you can't hold your breath for a long time. I remember what happened back in, what's it called? The Defenders. If you haven't checked that out on Netflix, you should. It's very good. Matt can apparently hold his breath for like hours. What I tells ya, he's half merman. I know what he's thinking. He's like, this suit is absolutely gonna shrink. Shouldn't have gotten it wet. Sneaky? Oh.
Northern Stars all over the
Well, she learned to fight. I guess that's a good thing.
We get the message out there that the mayor is running guns. The weapons, all of it, is still on board. Just outside the port.
Do people actually care, though?
Oh, yeah. Kind of counting on it, Miss Page.
The way Matt cannot interact with a female without it being flirting or sexual needs to be studied. Don't tell me you're upset, Fisky. You're eating meat again, got your wife running-ish, you beat up her boyfriend. You should be feeling great.
Who knew what was in that ship besides you and I?
Indeed, where is the mole? It's a lot of glasses.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Hey, is that Matthew Lillard? Y'all, I know a lot of people know him from Scooby-Doo, but my first introduction to Mr. Lillard was way back in the movie Hackers with Angelina Jolie, which if you see it, it's cheesy now, but it's a classic. But fell in love with him from that point. You know how hard it is to get a flip phone these days? Also, this bartender's slacking. Dishes just stacking up right in there. There's no one else at the bar.
Just looking every time, Matt. No matter how we come and no matter what we do, Fizz just gets back up. Even worse than before.
He's tenacious. Gotta give him that.
He's using the free port to line his and his cronies' pockets.
Is it gonna matter?
Show the city, show Albany who he is, and he will be held accountable.
By whom? Yeah, even Karen's like, I don't believe that bullshit, Maddie.
I have to believe that, Karen.
Okay. Oh, you looking at your boyfriend, Maddie? You know, Fisk, you can just admit you're a fanboy and just like, y'all could be friends.
Sorry, I'm late. Do you know they have a Euro King in Manhattan? The line around the cart was like, it was insane.
That was so serial killer of him. Again, reference to Hackers. I'll be doing that a lot, I think, with his character.
I am definitely supposed to be here, Sheila.
Oh, he knows your name.
Well, where are you from?
Scooby-Doo!
I don't know what a lieutenant governor actually is, so I guess we're even, aren't we, Juan?
Wow, Fisk has to find more egotistical jackoffs like himself, huh? Ugh!
Yeah, I totally understand. Yes, Miss DeFontaine.
DeFontaine?
Oversight. Won't be a problem. I appreciate that very much.
Matt needs to go higher. He don't have the money or the underground connections to go up against Fisk the legal way. Just get Doctor Strange to put him into a dimension where he'll fall for the rest of his life.
I ask for a lawyer, and I get a psychiatrist.
Don't mind her. She's just a little upset that Maddie used her like he does every other woman. That's not Claire.
Mr. Duquesne, are you saying that you're not the vigilante known as the swordsman?
I'm saying District Attorney Hochberg will have to prove that in court.
You're acting like these are going to be fair trials, sir.
I know the law, Dr. Glenn.
Oh, she's got her own little PTSD going on.
Then you know you're being held here under the Safer Streets Act.
Meaning you have no rights.
Those two men outside can do whatever they please to you should I ask them to.
Oh.
The only thing that might ever enable you to see the light of day can be postponed or canceled if you don't.
False.
I just answer false to everything. But yeah, interesting how now she's just as twisted as Fisk because she encountered one psychotic person who wore a costume.
Matt's gonna be fine, okay? He's gonna be fine.
Oh, he's just gonna be fine.
He's the series lead. It's fine.
Could I speak with Miss McDuffie privately?
You could, but I don't want you to.
Not exactly a white shoe firm these days. More of a, I don't know, legal aid hostel.
Sure. Thanks for the classism. Is there a reason you're here?
Avoid the humiliation of losing the Duquesne case.
Oh, Ben. I have 4 brothers. I don't get embarrassed.
That part.
My defenses are rock solid, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Oh, you think the evidence matters?
Sadly, he's right about that. Nothing about the justice system is completely without corruption right now, thanks to Fisk.
Well, it's a very generous offer, and I must respectfully say, fuck you.
I like her.
Fisk will destroy the whole city.
You know I'm retired, right?
But you're here.
You and Kirsten get pretty good at laying the guilt. You know that?
Thank you. It's a skill. And he's Catholic.
Would it kill you to reach out to her?
I can't put her at risk.
That's true. He can't do it.
Me?
She's safer.
You're old.
Well, you already know.
Let's go!
Oh, the whole look and feel of this task force. Ugh, it's so too close to the nose. Well, that sounds a little too close to English. I'm pretty sure you figured out what that word was. Yeah, he's absolutely the kind of bitch that will hit a woman. Absolutely. You think you can get away running like that? You should have definitely gotten your cardio up before you became a criminal. I cannot wait till that man dies.
It's your favorite mayor, Wilson Fisk. Speaking of, what a great mayor I am.
I'm trying to figure out if that
I
actually
made
is
so much money off that
Vincent doing this voice.
Spoke too soon. Someone caught me. Spoiled again by that dastardly do-gooder.
I like that. We're calling him Dastardly Do-Gooder from now
I'll
on.
get him in the end. Just don't you dare try to dig into what I'm really doing.
That part. I don't know who's doing the parody account, but I love it.
Whoa, chill.
Yeah, no, we're not friends.
Chill.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Why did you come, girl? You crazy?
This is 2 steps beyond that.
Well, I will remind you, I am deputy mayor now.
Yeah, he's like, I do have Wilson Fisk's dick all the way down my throat, so.
Fisk shouldn't be involved in any of his
No,
own businesses.
no, he's all legit. He put.
Why does she
everything
keep talking to
into
this
a
man like
trust.
he's not crazy enough to pitch her over this balcony?
Fisk is playing some 10-dimensional game, and if that ever comes crashing down, he's not gonna be the one that gets hurt.
That part is true. Girl, you playing with fire. When you see people who are that nose deep into some stuff that can get you killed, you can't save her. She don't want to be saved.
Murdoch.
I speak 0 Greek, so I'll assume that's correct.
Achille was supposed to go to Toronto tonight.
We'll leave us out of it.
Then a plane to Nicosia, but
I'm not even in Toronto, but just leave Canada in general.
task force took him. Which means nobody finds him.
That part.
No one can help him. Not even the lawyer from Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, we have so little faith.
We have to try, don't we?
Do we?
We're doomed to try.
What an interesting expression. Doomed to try.
Smashing someone's face in can make them reluctant to comply.
I know, shocking,
Next time,
right?
maybe put the kettle on, yeah?
Do you think he even knows what a kettle is?
I did what I was told. I just want to go home.
Oh, there's no going home for you, sir. That's why you don't play with crime.
I think that can be arranged.
He didn't say what shape you'd be in when you went home, though. It's most likely going to be in pieces.
Δεν φτάσκεσαι τίποτα.
Right? I said he didn't say which way you were going home. In a box it is. Don't do any sighs heavily here. You know exactly what you're doing, sir. Probably enjoy it as well. You're just not as outwardly brutish as the rent-a-cop there.
Vanessa, she's privy to all my business dealings, and I hers.
No, actually you're not, Fisk, but keep telling yourself that.
Mean to offend, so.
But you have.
Okay, fine, bye.
But this is now going kind of like 8 different ways of fucked up, right?
I'm handling it.
Are you?
Organizing the salvage team.
Yeah, the point is it shouldn't have had a need for a salvage team. You're missing the point, Fisky.
My men, they're effective. They're very
Really? Then how do they find out about how the ship get leaked?
So you have no problem killing them after they've unloaded the boat, right?
Nope. Fisk's never cared about life.
A little night crew to make them disappear in an industrial accident after they unload the goods into your Red Hook warehouse? Obviously, it's up to you.
Is it though? Or are you just making him think it is?
It seems our interests are aligned.
They are.
They focused on his watch multiple times. I wonder if that's going to come back. And we also saw Matt put a watch inside of that arms crate.
Do you like him?
I mean, he grows on you, but no.
Absolutely nothing about him grows on you.
He said the easiest people to manipulate are manipulators.
They always think they're too smart.
Is this some like sisterhood here end at the lesson?
More like an I don't want you to die.
Right. She actually high-key respected your uncle, so.
You guys were close, right?
Pretty.
I have a lot of guilt about that.
It was to say, well, not directly, but
I'm
it did
pretty
save
sure
you.
Ben died to save me.
Mm.
I think maybe the best way to honor them would be not
Stay
to kill them.
alive, yeah. Make that sacrifice not be in vain.
And since you're checking over the answers anyway,
Like, don't try to be upright now, sis. You're working for a criminal. And you know that you have an issue with Duquesne because of this guy. So let's not act like you have any morality or compass at this point. Go ahead and fudge the numbers like you were going to anyway.
Of course, it's possible I entered the data wrong.
that is great. Mayor Fisk said you would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, we should have a drink.
I mean, why not? Y'all both in bed with slime, so you may as well get together. None of that drinking gonna wash away your guilt, sis. And isn't it hilarious that she's a therapist and she knows she should be seeing somebody about this right now? And what is she doing? Self-medicating, avoiding, and transferring. When they say doctors of all trades make the worst patients.
I'll never figure out how you do that.
Yeah.
Stick wouldn't be impressed.
Do I miss it?
Oh, you know, being Matt Murdock,
He did enjoy the law.
Nelson Murdock, and Paige.
Foggy. He's not dead, guys. He's just napping.
Είμαι ο Χριστοφής.
Stoffy?
Χριστοφής Σάβας. Ήμουν στο Northern Star. Είπαν ότι μπορείς να με βοηθήσεις.
Now here's not a good place. I gotta think Fisk's people are watching that place.
What do you want?
Just want to talk.
Unless you got a warrant.
They're gonna bust that door open. You know warrants don't mean nothing to these people. There is no law.
Well, which loser cops are we talking about?
I can do this all night.
Clearly. That's right. Since you want to make me bleed, you might as well take all of it, ho.
He's here, Daredevil!
Okay. No, I'm not okay.
Right? He's like, I'm getting my ass beat. I'm too old for this shit.
No.
Your heart.
I wish I could take
Don't say that. On the bright side, you get to hospitalize a bunch of these bitches. They deserve it. It's cold! Break it. Break more things. Break all the things. I love that they're doing it with the soft music on the turntable going in the background. Oh, my man's having a heart attack. No, you let go of that arm right now. You're not having a heart attack. We're not doing this again. Matt can't do this. Matt, you froze up last time and it did not go your way. Bro, can you not die right now? I know heart attacks aren't exactly mind over matter, but all of them gotta die. Frank, is that you, baby? Because they had to die. It needed to be someone who was gonna kill. You're welcome. Bullseye! Sure, I'll take it. Anybody who's willing to take the kill shot, we're fine with that. We love it. But why did he help Matt? That's the question. He doesn't seem to like people. Well, let's find out. I don't know. I'm not mad at it though, because like I said, all those bitches had to die. We knew that, right? As soon as they saw Maddie's face, they had to die. There was no other way around it. So, I mean, even though Fisk knows who it is anyways, you know, the wider public can know that. But whew, that got a little dicey towards the end, that's for sure. And oh my gosh, are we about to lose Cherry? We can't have Matt lose two people like that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, good episode, good kind of start to get us back into the swing of things. This episode let us know where New York is now under martial law, under this psychotic dictator that is sitting in the mayor's office. You know, obviously the false propaganda is going out there of, oh, everything's better and quieter now, which is clearly not the case. We see there is still dissent. There is still people who are unhappy, but we know that Fisk has the resources currently to suppress a lot of that information. And, you know, Matt has reunited with, you know, he's got his own little underground network, but most notably Karen is back and they're working together to try to, you know Matt, right? Matt still tells himself that the law works and that the justice system works. So he's trying to gather evidence and do all the things that should be necessary to get Fisk out of office and back in jail, which, you know, I really loved it in the episode that Karen gave him that, look, like, really, you believe that the law can do anything to this man, right? And of course, we hear Maddie say at the end, like, I gotta tell myself that, right? Like, he knows the justice system couldn't hold him down. He's been to jail twice. Fisk has been to jail twice, and both times he got out relatively unscathed. The first time he started running things in prison. So, you know, I bless Matt. I know that, you know, well, not so much in this series, but in the previous series on Netflix, there went a lot through Matt's, you know, mindset and his identity around the Daredevil and what the anger and the fury and the justice, the vigilante justice that Daredevil puts out versus who he wants to be, right? Matt Murdock is the paragon of virtue that Matt thinks he's supposed to be. That was his Catholic upbringing. That was his mother who was projecting her own Catholic guilt about getting pregnant with him onto him. Even though she didn't raise him, it was, you know, that mindset of, you know, that he needed to be this type of way. When he met her, she kind of reinforced that, yeah, you need to be this virtuous thing to kind of absolve all the sins that I feel like I transferred onto you. And yeah, Matt's always been trying to kind of live up to this impossible version of himself, right? There's nothing wrong with him not wanting to be a vigilante. There's nothing wrong with him wanting to do things the right way and to be someone who can walk with his head held high in society, as it were. But it's more the fact that he doesn't acknowledge the darkness in him. And that's been a theme, like last season talked about this, and definitely in The Punisher, you know, The Punisher and the Netflix Daredevil, they talked a lot about Matt not really accepting the full faceted sides of himself, right? He only ever wants to acknowledge Matt Murdock, the good guy, Matt Murdock, the friend, Matt Murdock, the justice seeker through the proper methods. He always treats Daredevil like this dark, sick secret that he has to just that he's ashamed of, but at the same time feels like he can't get rid of because, you know, justice needs him, right? And then even last season when him and Castle had that interchange when they were, you know, a really good interchange actually when he found Castle in that basement, and Frank basically once again called him out and said, bro, you are the master of pretending your emotions don't exist and hiding behind these personas you create, these masks, quite literal and figurative, that you put on yourself. You know, Frank's like, the difference between you and me is that, like, I embrace my darkness. Frank, that is, like, Frank's like, I embrace that. I never try to be a good guy, right? But, you know, obviously it's not 100% true. But anyways, right? The point of that whole conversation was, again, revisiting that Matt doesn't allow himself to just accept that he is light and darkness like all of us are, right? Like, obviously, hopefully the light part is more, but we all have the capacity to be dark and to do dark. And we all have our moments of not so great moments, right? So anti-ways, we see that right now Matt is kind of back into wearing the suit. We know he was very much against it for a lot of season 1, but he's trying to disrupt things on Fisk's side because he knows that if Fisk is busy kind of trying to keep the ball rolling with all of his illegal activities, as well as trying to run this Marrier thing, as well as trying to keep heat off of his back, it's going to be, at some point, that juggling is going to get messy and he's going to drop a ball. And so we see at the beginning of the episode, he found out about a shipment that was coming in, and the fact that it's now at the bottom of the lake or the river, whatever it is, that's not good. And we see that it attracted the attention of our new character this season, Mr. Matthew Lillard. And I know it's not the way you say his name, by the way, guys. I just like to say it that way. I like it. Like I said, my first introduction to Matthew was many moons ago in the movie Hackers, and he was a goofy hipster, almost like a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, but just imagine being like even more Fruit Loops and also like really good at computers. But anyway, I think Matthew always does really good with that kind of flippant, semi-nonchalant, semi-serious type of like character. And I think it's funny because in real life, you know, from what I've seen, Matt's actually pretty chill. He's like not that way at all, but he does a good job of playing that. And I like his energy with Fisk and Vanessa, because Fisk and Vanessa are this perfect storm of, you know, narcissistic losers who really think that they've got the drop on everybody and that they're so much smarter than everybody. And I can see right now so far that with Allard's character, Mr. Charles has seen Fisk's. He's seen many, like Fisk's are a dime a dozen in the kind of work that he probably has been privy to, because they said he works with, where is he from? Langley. So that's highest level CIA. CIA works within the US, but they also are around the globe. So point being, I'm fairly certain he's dealt, like I said, Fisk is like a low level rung for him as far as the kind of people he's dealt with. And I love that, you know, he knows he's poking the bear with Fisk. What I think he's probably currently unaware of is Fisk's violent tendencies. Fisk's been very good at hiding the absolute extremes of his violence from the masses. Like a handful of people have ever witnessed it and survived. So I don't know. I think a lot of people look at Fisk and they see a large, likely overweight man who's older. So they probably underestimate him greatly when it comes to that. And I think it's really interesting because in the show, you know, Vincent D'Onofrio is, you know, he's not the size of Kingpin, right? Kingpin in the comics is freakishly large, right? But in the comics, Fisk is muscular. Like that's not at all. He doesn't look like an overweight guy. He looks like a massive tank in the upper part of his body with slightly thicker legs. So anyway, coming back to the show, I think it's easy to look at Fisk and underestimate what he's physically capable of. So that's where our Mr. Charles needs to mind himself, because yeah, Fisk, when he gets to a point where he can't out logic you, which doesn't take very long to be fair, he resorts to brute violence. he resorts to guerrilla rage, right? He doesn't really think anymore. So yeah, I don't know if Mr. Charles is aware of that, but if he's not, then he needs to watch himself, because yeah, Fisk will only put up with so much disrespect. That much I'll give him. Fisk is not the smartest guy out there, but he definitely picks up when people are looking down on him, and it's a trigger. So anyway, yeah, the introduction of Mr. Charles, I do like his character. We'll see where he goes. I feel like he's there for more than just looking out for the shipment. I mean, it looks like he's gonna oversee that operation, but I feel like there's more going on there, because at the Langley level, they can't just care about a shipment. There's gotta be more going on right now. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the whole task force. Matt, we found out that Karen's insider who's getting the information about these shipments is BB. I'm very terrified for BB, honestly. She's playing a very dangerous game. I mean, currently Fisk's little right-hand loser, you know, he's very arrogant. And because of that, he's definitely overlooking a lot of where BB is. Also, let's face it, you know, he's got a crush on her. So that's it's working to her advantage for now. But I love that Karen warned her this episode that manipulators are the easiest to manipulate. And one of the main reasons they are is because they're usually arrogant. Manipulators often think that they're smarter than everybody else, therefore no one can get the drop on them. So they end up lowering their guard around people that they believe couldn't possibly be a threat. And I think BB is doing that right now with Fisk's little lapdog, because he seems goofy, right? To her anyways, she's never really seen his nasty side, right? She's seen his temper flare a bit. She's heard him say a few mild threats, but she's never really seen that he is willing to do anything for Fisk. Like, he is really willing to do whatever atrocity Fisk asks, and then he'll take a cookie and a pat in the back after. She's underestimating how vile he is and how much he's willing to sacrifice for Fisk. So that's where she's letting her guard down where he's concerned, because I do believe in her mind she thinks he had never hurt her, and she's gonna be she's extraordinarily wrong about that. So I'm glad that Karen gave her that warning. I hope she takes it to heart. And while it's obviously she needs, because I was wondering, you saw me in the episode being like, why is she still talking to this loser? Like, what? But now I realize this so that she can keep a level of trust with him where she can do things like hire a cleaner for him and him not question it, despite the fact that someone had unfettered access to his apartment, right? So anyway, interesting to find out that that's what's going on that side. Matt just basically talking about how he kind of misses being the lawyer side of things. Like when he went to go visit that Greek restaurant owner, he clearly missed the law side, the interrogation. Like that's something that Matt genuinely enjoys, right? Daredevil is an outlet for him, but Matt Murdock is like, the lawyer is kind of like a passion for him. He really does enjoy law and helping people with the justice system. So yeah, interesting that he kind of through that, those experiences and talking with Karen, saying that he does miss the Matt Murdock side of it. But obviously right now, because he's wanted, number one, he can't come back, but also they kind of lightly hinted that practicing law and being back in that environment, particularly if Karen got back involved, it's going to remind him of Foggy. And we saw all last season that Matt was having a very hard time facing his grief over Foggy, and I still don't think he's 100% there yet. So anyway, is that pretty much all the Matt of it all? Yeah, I think for the most part, that kind of covers the Matt side of things and, what's going on between Matt and Fisk. Side of that, we see that Matt's ex, the psychiatrist, she's definitely going through she's at her chaotic, I'm going to say chaotic neutral at the moment. She's not chaotic evil yet, but she's dealing with her own PTSD over what happened to her last season, which is understandable. But as I said, as someone who's supposed to be a licensed mental health professional, she should know that she has got some serious biases and transference going on with what, with the whole vigilante ideas and what's going on with that based on what happened to her. That's literally Psych 101. Like, you experienced a horrible thing at the hands of someone who is a villain, not even a vigilante, just a masked villain and a serial killer. And because he was wearing a mask, just because he covered his face, you are now saying that anybody who's ever worn a mask ever must be a psycho killer and deserves to have their human rights stripped away, thrown into a jail that's not even a sanctioned jail, and potentially experience all types of torture and inhumane treatment for God knows how long because of one man. And I mean, she had her biases before. I mean, the whole season showed that she already had her biases. Like, she brought that up about Daredevil, etc. But you know what I'm saying? Like, right now, she is very much transferring all of her fear, her trauma, her anger, her helplessness, all that onto anybody with a mask. And that's why she's telling herself that what she's doing right now, like that whole interview with Ken, that it was fine for her to sit there and judge him. And at first she's trying to do the psych evaluation fairly normally, but then when she has her PTSD flashback, she switches into this mode that's very Fisk-esque, where she starts threatening him and basically saying, I can make you do whatever I want you to do, and I can make your life a living hell and have you rot in this place if you don't do what I say, right? And I know that some of that is also her feeling like she's got control over a situation where she didn't have control. But anyway, all that to say, we see that before she decided to lie with the files that are going to be necessary to put Duquesne behind bars, she took a shot of straight vodka, which, by the way, Grey Goose, as good as it is, straight up. But anyway, that was kind of, to me, showing us as an audience that she's still a bit conflicted. That's why I put her in the chaotic neutral. Like, she's teetering towards chaotic evil, but she still has a conscience at the moment. So there is a chance that before the end of the season, she'll turn it around. But at the moment, the path to hell is wide and very easy to traverse for her right now. So she doesn't seem like she's on any sort of time to turn it around. But let's see. We'll have to see how it goes as the season continues. But was that pretty much the only other thing we focused on? I think so. I think that was the main thing, other than when we got to the end. Fight scene was great as usual, but we see that it was a trap, going after Cherry. was their trap to get Daredevil to show up. It worked, of course, and we see that in the middle of the fight, Cherry looks like he was about to have a heart attack. And I love, I saw it right before they showed it, like it would trigger him back to Foggy when he was fighting and unable to get there or do anything really with someone he cared about, and them, their heart potentially stopping and him not being able to do anything because he's mid-fight. And even if he didn't have people to fight, Matt's not a doctor, So I love that they showed that PTSD immediately froze him and he wasn't able to even think fast enough to function. And then of course that got him beat. And even then I feel like when he got pinned, knowing him, he probably would have been able to get out of that too. But because he was so focused on listening to Cherry's heart, he couldn't bring himself to do anything else. And we see that it would have been over, right? Once they saw his face, the mask actually got pulled. They all recognized him. And then it looks like for whatever reason, Bullseye's also watching either Matt or Cherry or both. I don't know, but Bullseye saved the day in this case, and he did what Matt would not be willing to do, because as I said in the episode, there was no other way for those officers especially for who they were and who they were associated with. And now that they knew the truth of Daredevil's identity, there was no way they could live. They had to die. And I hate saying that, me, I'm never for, I should say, taking lives, but also what they represent, what they've been doing in the show, it's not like they're gonna be heavily missed. But yeah, in the case of the story, there was no letting them survive. So I'm interested to see how Matt's gonna process that, though. We know he does not like people dying in his name or people killing for him. But like I said, is he gonna recognize that in this case, it was probably the only outcome that was not gonna completely derail his long-term plans? We'll have to see. But yeah, a good episode overall, good way to start. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.